first and died in institutional settings, as well as those who are still trapped or silenced by institutional practices. We take the responsibility of being clear about the rights of all those with disability and, where necessary, in an informed and considered manner, we will speak for those who are, who require us to speak for.
Thank you, Josh. Now I'm going to hand over to Hop, who's going to do our check-in question today. Thanks, Hop.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's well. My check-in question is, what's something positive about your disability? So something on the positive side. And I only have one person I can see on the screen, so I'll leave it up to whoever else can.
Did you want to
the next
start,
person.
Hop, or do you want to wrap it up? We wrap it
No,
up.
let's let them go. Let
Yep.
them go for the gold.
So, Karen, you're top of my screen.
Thanks for that second question, Hop. I would say is that it gives me insights to add my lived experience to the work that I do. So the next person I see on my screen is you, Hop.
Is it me, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something positive for me is that being an amputee, I only have to change one sock a day. So how's that?
Love it. Thanks, Hop. I'll if you've got limited screen time, my next person is Rachel.
Hello, everybody. I won't go into all that. Unpositive thing. Well, I've met all you fantastic people at QDN over 20 years, nearly 20 years anyway.
Yes. Next along. Do you want to pass you?
Michelle.
Thank you, Rachel. I think for me, in terms of lots of family members with disability and some stuff that has happened and I've acquired more recently, I think one of the positive things is about, as you said, Rachel, it's connection to community and the incredible people and community that is part of the disability community. Josh, you're on my screen next.
Excellent. I would say the benefit of my disability is the fact that I don't need to work for the man, and instead I can spend time putting my efforts into things that really matter, like working with QDN or doing other advocacy work that really will make a difference, where work was just bringing money home.
The man. That's funny.
On my screen is everyone that's spoken except Gina. But do you want to speak, Gina?
Sure. I think mine is as a parent of a young person with disability. I'm just constantly learning and loving watching her as she goes from a teenager into adulthood and learning to find her voice and being part of the network. And yeah, it's really lovely to see, and I can see how the voices get amplified. So yeah, thank you. Dion, you're next on my screen.
Okay, I'm going to make lighthearted of this because I spent the last 2 weekends in ED. My favourite thing of being a disability is getting cuddles from my new friend, the floor. just having fun and making fun of situations that that only we can.
You've had a few falls. I think that's what you're.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I love how you describe that, getting up close and personal, cuddling the floor. Thanks, Dion. Do you want me to pass, or can you have you got that on your screen? Who's
Yeah,
next?
we'll,
Or
we'll
yeah.
pass to Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dion. Sometimes cuddling the floor isn't that great, and spending a lot of time in ED is not wonderful either. But I guess for today, my positive thing is that I've managed to be a wonderful example to several medical students over the last week. So it's always nice to be a live model. Um, and I will pass on to Isabel.
Thank you, Cheryl. I am going to take the perspective of being a parent of a young person with a disability. And for me, my favourite part of him and his disability is the unique way that he sees the world and the way that he is able to fix problems that in ways that I would never have thought to. So that's my favourite thing from that perspective of being a parent. The next person on my screen who hasn't gone is the lovely Belinda.
Isabel, mine probably trying to find the humour in everything, as well as helping to inform physiotherapists coming through the system to guide them into hopefully a avenue of practice to help those, especially with the F&D. And I'm going to pass to Carmen.
Thanks, Belinda. One of my favourite things is being an advocate, but also watching people around me have the light bulb go off, realising they can do advocacy as well. And I will pass to Kate.
Thanks, Carmen. I guess for me, one of the things that having a disability has given to me is a really good capacity for seeing an opportunity and making the most of it. Because I guess we all know we don't have a heap of opportunities to flourish in life generally. So I'm very attuned to where we can get in and make the most of a situation. I will pass on to Serena, please.
Thank you, Kate. Hello, everyone. As a person with 3 invisible disabilities, I'd have to say it's helped me to be more kind, insightful, empathetic, helping me to connect on the same wavelength and frequency and improve my emotional intelligence. Thank you for that opportunity, and I'm going to hand it over to Eleni.
Thank you. I would say that working with everybody at QDN has allowed me to learn a lot about perspective and appreciate lots of different types of disabilities, and I'm learning a lot, which I'm very grateful for. And I will pass to Paul. I think you've been yet, Paul.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Paul. My my disability, what I've learned is how much individuals' stories or family stories make a difference, and how much it's important that they're listened to and that they get the chance to advocate for their needs. Thank you, and I'd like to pass it on to Nadia. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Paul. So something I really love about my experience of being disabled is sometimes I get the chance to talk to parents, or indirectly, someone will say I was talking to a parent of a young person who's going through challenges that you've been through and doesn't really know what the other side looks like. And I told them a bit about what you're doing. you know that you've become independent, that you do work and whatever. And so even though I have been through some real challenges, that I'm able to model that those can be overcome. Yeah. And I would like to pass over to Brendan, and I think then we've just got Rachel and Hop left.
I've done mine. Thanks,
Oh,
Nadia.
so I'm so sorry, Rachel.
That's okay. I can easily do another one.
Same with Hop, actually.
Oh, so
Nadia,
maybe Brendan's our last person.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. So somebody, I think for me, my perspective would be being able to ask questions and getting people to walk along with you along the journey has been very valuable. I also think being able to have the skills to be able to operate technology has been incredibly valuable and useful, especially with the number one issue being in our community that people still don't believe that I can operate a computer or a smartphone.
Okay, I think that's everyone.
No, there's somebody on an Oppo phone.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out who that is. Are you able to turn your sound on? Whoever Oppo CPH 2669 is.
It's me, Gina. Sharon.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah,
Hello.
I just went to Lena's house. She's supposed to be here, but she's not.
Okay.
So
Oh, no.
be here until she gets here. Okay.
No worries. All good, Sharon. Lovely to have you. Sharon supports our convener up in Mackay Talina. So welcome, Sharon.
Can I just add in there for a minute?
Go for it, Hop.
I've just listened to everybody else's. They were a bit more D&M than what mine was before. But when I think about it, and I have for many years now, is that with my disability, I've learned to be more grateful for what I have. And when I mean for what I have, it's the small things. And that's like waking up is one of them, but also, you know, I can still see, I can still hear, I can still get up and get out and about, those sorts of things. So it's some of the things that I still can do, not the things that people look at that you can't do. So yeah, gratitude. So I just sort of throw that little bit in there. Do that little bit of DMN stuff as well.
Thanks, Hop. Thank you. It's a really good question. Thank you. All right. Well, whilst we have Michelle here, I think we should, in a nice way, take advantage of that. Thank you, Michelle, for popping in. So I'll hand over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Gina, and thanks everybody for having me and letting me jump in. I just thought I had some space, a half-hour space in my calendar at this time, and saw that the community of practice was on, so I just thought I'd jump in and say hello, because I know I've been away on leave, and yeah, it was just a good opportunity to connect in and see you all. I've been out in Longreach last week, and the week before that I was up in Mount Isa, so hit the ground running. We thought we might be in a position to be doing some engagement around thriving kids, but we still don't have a signed bilateral agreement for that. But use the opportunity to connect in. we caught up with the mayor, and I don't think Daisy's on. I didn't see Daisy on, but heard about the great things that our Longreach Gidgee Yarning Circle peer support group is doing, and all the great advocacy that they've been providing feedback to the mayor out there of what things are working, but also what are some of the priorities that he needs to be thinking about in terms of some of the infrastructure around town, but also some really practical things that he took away as ways that the council can be thinking around inclusion. So, it was great to see that advocacy and the impact to the peer support groups in action through that conversation with the mayor. And I was saying in the staff meeting today, he's given a commitment to the group to ensure that there's someone from one of the councillors are there at the meetings so that he can keep getting some of that direct feedback. So well done to Daisy and the crew out in Longreach, and likewise in Mount Isa. I got to catch up with lots of our members up there and hearing about the really great work on the ground that I know you are all doing in your different communities, and through the different opportunities and things. So yeah, it's just wanted to feed that back, that we do get to hear that through different conversations. So appreciate everything that people are doing. We do have, there's just to give some updates, there's a disability ministerial meeting on this Friday. So we'll put some things in the e-news, but just keep an eye out. I don't think there'll be anything revolutionary discussed at the meeting. We're still, as I said, we're still waiting for some progress on some of that stuff around foundational supports for Queensland. It is the same day that the report's going to be handed down around the NDIS review and those alleged changes. So I think it is, I know that people have been very engaged in those conversations. I know many of you have probably been watching some of the hearings and things that have been happening. And I know that Megan from PWDA and Sophie from Women with Disability Australia did a press club speech this week as well. Karen's probably, or someone who may have watched it, can give an update. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I'll do that on iView. And probably out of interest, if anyone else is interested, apparently there was something on 7:30 report last week around thriving kids, and I think they're putting pressure on the Queensland government about what's happening, and we don't want Queensland children missing out on getting access to those essential supports. What else? There's lots of other stuff that's been happening in terms of transport and disaster preparedness and things around workforce, but that's probably just a range of updates that I thought might be helpful. And I'll leave you all to the Brendan. You've got your hand up.
Hello. Just the two things around thriving kids. I was in touch with Barbara O'Shea's office, and according to them, they're waiting for the report to be handed down by the federal government.
Okay.
Is what I have heard, but they have confirmed that Queensland is the only state that has not signed a bilateral agreement at the moment.
Yeah.
And the other one was that I have heard that there's going to be the ACCC have been given some powers around new e-scooter and bike, around the importing of illegal e-bikes and things like that. But we still haven't got a lot of information around fines, because I keep hearing stuff around people who leave their e-scooters or e-bikes in the wrong places are apparently going to be fined.
Yeah.
But there's no information about how that's going to work.
I can take that as a question on notice, Brendan, and we can follow up with TMR, because, like, as people would be aware, those laws and stuff have come in from the 1st of July, and they should have some data about, you know, if they're actually handing out some fines and what that looks like. So yeah, I'll follow up with the policy team and see what we can find out about just some stats around the data.
And they're certainly not doing it here. They keep leaving them all over the place.
Yeah. And sorry, Hop, yes, thank you to everyone for filling in the acronym for me. PWDA is People with Disability Australia. So they're one of the Commonwealth peak bodies for that get funding as a national DPO, which is another acronym for a disabled persons organisation. So I think there's now 10 of them that are all disabled persons organisations. So like QDN have a board that is all people with disability, and then they get funding to do work similar to QDN, but at that national level. So yeah, Megan, who I think is the acting president or acting deputy CEO, and the CEO of Women with Disability Australia, Witta, both spoke at the press club, which is really cool and amazing and fantastic that they had the opportunity to do that. But I haven't watched it yet, so I'm not sure what issues they put on the table, but I'm sure the NDIS was one of them. And yes, Karen, I knew you would have been across that, and Karen's put a link in into the chat.
Sorry, one other thing, Michelle, that I forgot to mention, just for EDN's information, Blind Citizens Australia was not given the opportunity to speak at the NDIS forum for some reason. They were denied access.
Oh, really?
Which I find quite interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Without an explanation.
Goodness.
Oh, Michelle, and
Hi,
thanks for that. Thanks for that, Brendan. I'm not on the board of Witter anymore, so but I do know that they spoke. I didn't hear what Sophie said, but I think Nadia's listened to them. I'm a bit behind in catching up on things, but there's the link for anyone that's interested in having a look. It was a joint effort among the MPWDA and a service provider who got to speak about what the challenges were around some of the cuts being proposed to the NDIS and what that would mean for certain populations. So no doubt it's well worth a look, and it's also good to influence the press because they sometimes get the wrong end of the stick and talk about it from less helpful perspectives, like people and services rotting the system, etc.
Yeah. Yes, no, very good points, Karen, and thanks for putting that in the chat. And yes, Serena, my apologies. I will make sure I describe acronyms, and it's a good reminder for us all. We end up with a totally different vocabulary, don't we, sometimes when you get in the lingo And yeah, so I'll make note of that. I'm going to have to go because I've got another meeting at 4:30, but yeah, I'll look forward to hearing how the rest of the meeting goes. Lovely to see all of your wonderful faces. And again, thanks for everything that you're all doing. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for popping in. Michelle pops a lot in a short few minutes, doesn't she? So good to have her here after lots of time in Mount Isa and Longreach the last couple of weeks. So, all right. Now, I just wanted to give a quick update as well on a couple of things before we move on. So, first of all, just to let you know, the EOIs, the expression of interest, have closed for the two new peer support groups, so statewide hot topics and our kind of disaster readiness group. So we'll be looking to do interviews starting from later this week if you applied for one of those. So hopefully at the next meeting we'll be able to update you on those, and we hope to get those new peer support groups ready and up and going hopefully next month, and would love your support in encouraging people to attend those new peer support groups. We also, as some of you will know from having been part of it, we had our Inclusion Matter Forum last month on education and learning. That was a really fantastic panel, and some really interesting insights came up from that event. I think particularly some of the trials and tribulations from childhood schooling seemed to be one of them, didn't it, Isabel and Eleni? But also some really great feedback around the interest in the fact that there is some great work being done in universities and research and so forth around education and learning, but certainly some lived experience stories coming out around schooling and yeah, perhaps the not so great experiences that some members had had. We're heading out to Longreach next month for Inclusion Matters, so the 16th of September. So if you have any connections out that way, probably within a couple of hours of Longreach, please encourage them to go to the QDN website and register for that Longreach Inclusion Matter Forum. Also, our next online Inclusion Matter Forum is health and wellbeing. So I think that's a topic that's near and dear to everyone. As I said, even if you are unable to attend on the day, so I think that's the 15th of October off the top of my head. But just if you're not able to be there, it is being, as long as you've registered, it's being recorded, you'll get sent the recording, the presenters' PowerPoints and those sorts of things. So just, please share that with your group members, that we'd love to see them there. But if they can't because of a clash or a medical appointment or something, just still do encourage everyone to register. And the only other thing I really wanted to talk about is the Group Convener Learning and Development Days, which is sort of what we wanted to talk further about today. So the Learning and Development Days, the 29th and 30th of October. And then for those of you that want to stay on for the AGM, the next day. So we've drafted up the Microsoft form that we sent out last year, and we'll do the same this year, or for those of you that are new. And if there's any issues with accessing that, let us know. But basically, it'll be the same sort of format, just going through all the parts, I guess, of the learning and development days. So just obviously, if you're further afield, flights, preferred flight days, those sorts of things, who you're traveling with, if you've got a support worker or someone with you, looking at dietaries, if you need taxi vouchers, all those sorts of things across the couple of days. And so for many of you, it would be arriving down here in Brisbane the afternoon before. And as I said, just nominating if you did want to stay on for the AGM on the Saturday morning. That will be another sort of tick box option. It is a voting year this year, so that might be something that some of you want to be involved in. So as I said, that will come out in the next week or so. We're just refining that and make sure we've obviously each time we do this, we learn more things about airline travel and the all the questions. So Kate, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, Jenna. In relation to coming down for those few days, last year we were given the option of finding our own accommodation and being reimbursed. Is that still the same go this year?
Yes, Kate, that's my understanding. There'll just be a budget, and again, we'll confirm that with you. But yes, usually QDN has used Capri for the last couple of years, I think at least. But we know some of you, for various reasons, want to use different. So there'll just be a budget. So we'll confirm with you what that is. I just need to. That's one of the questions I need to just clarify. Exactly what that, if you stay else, QDN will reimburse to a certain amount. If you choose to stay somewhere that costs more than that, you just pay the difference. So we'll definitely confirm that for you, Kate, and everyone. Yeah.
Right, so that will be all the information that comes out to us soon. That will be there. Right, thanks, Jenna.
Thanks, Kate. And Rachel?
Sorry, it's my MS brain and it's very old. What were those dates again? Could you please tell me?
Sure. Kate, Rachel, they're at the end of October, so it is the 29th and 30th, I believe. So the Thursday, Friday, and then it's the Saturday morning. If anyone wants to stay on for that AGM on the morning of Saturday the 31st, which I believe I think the AGM is at City Hall again, as far as I'm aware, and but our group convener days this year are going to be back in Albert Street, where there's some meeting rooms there, which is in the same street as the Capri Hotel or nearby to some of other accommodation options. But I think some of you would have been there. Maybe was it perhaps 3 years ago or so? I think we're there because we were at City Hall last year and Royal on the Park the year before. So yeah, it's probably about 3 years. I think maybe Albert Street meeting rooms. Yes, so we will confirm that all in an email, but just to know that's coming out in the next week or two. I know a couple of you have reached out, but we'll try and capture as much as we can sort of within that form, and then Nicole and the admin team will liaise with you individually to talk further around, as I said, the particular flight times and options, or if you're more local, around, taxi vouchers and those sorts of things. So we'll just start the ball rolling. We know it's a bit of a work in progress. So I'm going to say already thank you in advance for your patience and working with us. Those of you that have been involved previously know there's a lot of organisation, Jade, in our marketing and events team, booking function rooms through to, as I said, the admin team with accommodation and our team. So we're just trying to get started early because the time goes very quickly. So we look forward to working with you on that. So that sort of leads me to, and if there are any other questions on that at the moment, but just to keep an eye out in your emails, I'd say within the next couple of weeks for that Microsoft form to just try and sort of gather that initial information with you. Okay, so what we also wanted to talk to you about today is around the actual content of those days, as well as any handbook changes. So I hope that you all received, if you couldn't find your copy handy, but if you've got any changes or suggestions you'd like to make for the Convener handbook, we might do those now. We've had a couple of suggestions come through from a couple of peer support groups, perhaps to add to some guidelines, those sorts of things. Actually, Eleni, did you have that on a page? So I'm putting you on the spot because we didn't get a chance to catch it before, but
I do have it.
Is that something that is shareable at the moment, or we can just talk them through if you want to? Would you like to do that if you've got that in front of you?
Sure. So some suggestions we have so far is at the start of the handbook, putting all of the acknowledgements on one page together right at the beginning, not over 2 pages. Also, there was the idea of adding an executive summary to the first few pages of the handbook that contains only the key information, and it will be kept to just a couple of pages again, so all of that important information is easily accessible. This section should include a sample agenda and like sort of an instruction guide to running a meeting if it was someone's first time using the handbook and they needed to quickly just navigate to how they run a meeting. Have some more detail in the what is the purpose of these groups section so that that can be read out quickly if it's someone's first time to a peer support group and they ask, you know, what's the purpose of these meetings? It's good to have sort of a little paragraph to read. And that is, yeah, that was everything we had so far. So if anybody has any more suggestions, I'll write them in this document.
I think we've just had some put in the chat from Belinda, so we'll incorporate. I think we may have they may have just come through, so we'll incorporate those. And Cheryl, I can see your question around check-in cards, check-in, check-out cards, the purple and green ones. I don't believe we have any more. They were something that we just had a limited number of, but in saying that, I know the check-in, check-out questions are in the handbook, but if they're not all there, or again, we might be able to pull those together and make them, you know, something that's, I think they need to be sort of near the front myself, along with acknowledgements. So those early pieces, frequently used pieces that you use. Some of the information in the handbook is more good to read over, or particularly if you're new to convening, but it's that, yes, highly sort of used key pieces, isn't it, for every meeting, the acknowledgements, just that general sort of agenda flow, check-in, check-out questions, those sorts of things, the guidelines, we have those early on. So I wish we had more and more sets, but we don't. They are something though, again, we can look to type some of them up, put them on a laminated sheet or something else. One of the things that's been really lovely to see, and I'm sure many of you have done this, is to ask a group member if they would like to read an acknowledgement, and that just builds capacity of people within your group as well. So sometimes if you are a group that meets in person or as a hybrid, that can be, something that you can easily pass over and someone else can choose a question. So yes, maybe we can find a workaround on that, Cheryl. All right. Any other suggestions? Brendan, you've got your hand up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so there was a couple of things here. So first one was the table of contents currently does not work. The link table of contents, you hit the first one, it works, and then when you go up and hit the second one, it actually doesn't work. And we've tried removing it and replacing it, but there's some serious breakage with the table of contents, which is very difficult to navigate through the book. So that's the first one. The second one was I agree with the acknowledgements. and I believe that I suggested that as well. And there's also some issues with the front artwork with accessibility at the very front of the book. But I believe you have been sent these already, Gina.
Yep. Thanks, Brendan. Yes, and obviously, we've continuing to want to get more and more converted into Braille as well. So I know Eleni got some quotes looking at things like guidelines and acknowledgements and other things. So just to know, we certainly keeping trying to progress that to Brendan. And I'm sorry, I'm just checking notes. Serena, we don't have business cards anymore. Serena's popped a question in the chat asking about, in the past there were business cards, but it's not something we have anymore. And yeah, we as staff members don't have business cards. They're not, not, and not really something. I mean, we have sort of mentioned it and asked, but it's not something that you should be really making, it is something, if you're putting QDN branding on it, that does need to be approved. So not something you should be making your own either. So what we do have is, I know it not as handy to carry around, but postcards and things like that, or flyers. Actually, another thing is we do, a few of you have mentioned, we have had some feedback recently, and I'd be keen to hear the flyers that we have. And I'm not sure how many years this design has been as is, but certainly some feedback around the sort of readability of them, and also just that it would be more helpful to actually have the dates listed on the flyer as well. So those sort of saying, actually, instead of saying the fourth Wednesday of each month, we actually have the dates listed, those sorts of things. So yeah, has anyone else had feedback on the flyers?
Brendan here again. Definitely the date thing I've heard of too.
Yeah, I think that's why we did create a schedule, sort of list of dates, as a sort of something in between, but it's just something we've had more feedback in the last few months around that, the design. So I'm keen to, along with the team, to really have a look at that. But obviously, this is something we need to explore further. Nadia, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, just as a suggestion, what I have found in the past is that, maybe this is going back 5+ years, a huge amount of effort was put into making posters that had every date for the year, and then making one with every location and every third, Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. What I am wondering is if it would be helpful to have, like, Tuesday meets every third Tuesday, 1 to 3 p.m. Our next meeting is, and then a blank space. A little bit like you get, a lot of places, especially health places, you get their business card and there's a space where they can write an appointment, because it just seems like a huge amount of effort goes into creating all of those meeting, like putting when the next meeting is, and then they're printed up. And my experience has been that I have posters that are then outdated, and so then I'm even handed a poster and told, like, Cairns has changed their date, so throw out those posters, we've got new posters.
Yes, and it is something that I mean, we try and work that out with all of you in planning at the start of the year. If there's a particular date that doesn't work or it clashes with a public holiday and those sorts of things. So yes, there are dates, aren't there, Nadia, where it doesn't align with, we do ask that option of you. Do you want to, you know, continue with the meeting? Do you want to move it forward a week or back a week? So there are changes. So yeah, okay. Well, we'll make note of these. But I think there's been a few people that have talked about the busyness of the flyer and sort of the accessibility of it and hard to read and not having dates and things like that. So if you do have any other feedback, please send it in because I just, yeah, we're listening and we do want to make it as helpful and meaningful. There's no point having a flyer if it doesn't make sense to people. They can't pull the information from it that they need, and it doesn't help us get people along to our peer support groups. So, all right. Thank you. Now, sorry, Brendan, is your hand still up on that from the flyers or the handbook? Have you got another comment, or is that from before?
No, sorry, from before.
Oh, okay, no worries. Hop, you've got your hand up.
Yes, thanks. You just before you mentioned about postcards. I've never heard about that before.
Mm-hmm.
Any
There's
details
some,
on that, or yeah?
yeah, there's some. It's a little bit like a mini version of the flyer, the peer support group flyer, but it just talks about QDN peer support groups. Oh, there we are. Hang on, Cheryl's. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not trying to. Yeah, there we are. It's actually you can see a little bit more at a distance. Yeah. So that's quite a handy one to leave.
I can't see it.
Yeah,
So.
that's all right. Well, we can send some up to you, Hop, if you're out and about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Is there any other feedback, any other suggestions people have had from as a convening a meeting? Anything else you thought, gosh, I wish we had that as a guideline. I've had this pop up, or that bit doesn't work for me, or we've certainly had some great suggestions from the peer mentors as well. But are there anything else that comes to mind, or feel free to email us? And thank you for that. We'll grab the comments out of the chat as well to add anything else extra in. All right. And oh yes, Cheryl.
I think it would be really nice to have some regional gatherings where different support groups can actually have a social get together, whether that's on Zoom or in a central location. I mean, I really love our annual peer leader get together. And I feel like the groups themselves are quite isolated from one another. And yeah, so I think that would be something that we could work towards, whether it was over Zoom or whether it was, picking 3 or 4 groups that live within a reasonable commute and organising a get together, even if it's just a picnic or a coffee every now and again, so that people that go to one group can actually meet other people that go to other groups.
Yes, we need to get creative, don't we, and be more intentional in connections. So that will be a lovely segue, Cheryl, shortly to something that Karen's going to talk about shortly, and something that a peer support group did. But before we move on to that, I just wanted to check: are there any? We sort of gathered a whole lot of topics and suggested speakers for the group Convener Learning and Development Days. So, are there any other suggestions for topics that you feel would be really valuable to have a learning and development session on across, for all conveners, something that has popped up across the year? Kate, you've got your hand up. Oh, Kate,
Yes,
there you are.
sorry,
That's
Jenna. Meeting issues. Something I know we've discussed before years ago, but it comes up again and again and again, and that's conflict resolution. And that's something that every time you get new conveners and get new perspectives, I think it's worth touching on again, even if, I think the last time we did it was when we did the small table discussions about 3 years ago. And that was good, but I'm wondering if there's a different way we can do it, because it's something that affects everyone. It's not, I think most of us have dealt or tried to cope with some degree of conflict. And it's also, good for the ones that have been there and to help the newer conveners, because it can be pretty daunting. And for some of us, it might even be a reason to stop being a convener.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. We'll definitely take that on board. I think I was just going to see if we've got a list of other ideas too. Do you have that handy, Eleni, or I might see if I can grab it for the co-design for it's all right. We might even send it out and get a bit of a vote even on some of the topics, because there's always so many suggestions for topics for the Learning and Development Days. I know we've definitely had a few people talk about the self-care, sort of setting boundaries, those sorts of things. So we'll send out a list and maybe check with what everyone's thinking. Sharon, you've got your hand up there, I think, in the car.
Sorry, Jen, I'm not
All
used
good.
to doing it on my phone.
Oh, good.
I was just wondering, with our numbers up here, they're quite low at the meetings. And I was thinking maybe and I think it's the time and day, because it is during a work day and things like that, and work times. Is there any way that if I could take a computer and can we do like one online sort of meeting and put that out so people can actually do the meeting?
Make it a hybrid. Make it a
Yeah.
hybrid meeting. So those that want to meet in person and those that want to join online. Yes. Some of our groups are hybrid, and so that's something we can talk about for the Mackay group, definitely, Sharon. We'll make a note and catch up with you. It is
I'll need some training. I'll need some training on that because I've not done that before, but I'm quite willing to take my computer in there and do what's needed just so we get the numbers up, because I think it might be the day and the time with us.
Thank you, Sharon. Yes, look, it's there's never an easy time, is there, to catch everyone, but sometimes it depends. That's right, on the capacity of convener and the facilities at a room and those sorts of things. If people have a laptop, all sorts of things. But if you're able to do that, we can definitely talk about that. We just need to connect with the venue and see if there's any cost involved and those sorts of things. But we'll definitely make a note to look into that.
Well, I was thinking too, if you could like record the meetings.
We don't record peer support groups.
No
just only these sorts of community of practice, just from a safety sort of perspective, so people can share their personal stories and
No
but
problem.
definitely something that we can look at making a hybrid meeting.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thanks, Sharon. Nadia, you've got your hand up.
I was thinking it's not necessarily a skills building, but more gaining some perspective and insight, looking at either cultural perspectives or historic perspectives on what it means to be disabled, because I think sometimes, especially for people who are a bit newer to disability, we get very stuck in NDIS speak or talking about ways of disability that are sometimes only from very, very recent. So it would be interesting to hear about like disability in the last 50 years, 100 years, you know, even 500 years, or to hear from someone from a different cultural background. What does disability mean in their culture? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Thank you. It's a great idea. Thank you, Nadia. We'll definitely pop that one down. Pop, you've got your hand up.
Yes, thanks. I don't know if this is out of the box or just weird or not able to be done or anything, but I'm thinking of the guest speakers that you were talking about earlier about with the health and the well-being sides of things. Is there any one that can I don't know, do a generalized what a disabled person or what an employer can ask a disabled person when they're at work? Gee, I went from Melbourne to Sydney via Perth trying to say that.
So you're talking about disclosing disability and what is
what can be asked of you, and you know, and some of those might be some intrusive questionings. You know, I'm just wondering if there's somebody, I don't know if it's a workforce or one of those mobs.
Yep.
Just debate. I'm not saying the nitty gritty stuff. I'm just saying like an overall thing. I'm just wondering, has that ever been asked before? I mean, I'm not sure. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. Last year, our first online Inclusion Matter forum was around employment and financial security. And we did, which is one of those 7 outcome areas of the Australian Disability Strategy. And we did have someone presenting from the Australian Human Rights Commission, along with one of their ambassadors with lived experience, Brooke Sooks, who is a member. So no, it's there's a lot of the politically incorrect and discriminatory and all sorts of stuff, and what's the responsibilities of a workforce, or you know what do people have to disclose or choose, what can they choose to disclose, all that sort of stuff comes up. Pop. Okay, thank you, we'll make a note.
Thanks.
And Paul, you've got your Paul Justice. Sorry, we've got 2 Pauls now, haven't we? Paul Justice, you've got your hand up.
I wanted to ask about if for those new conveners that are starting from a brand new group, how do we build capacity in that group, bring new members in, engage in the community, and make it sustainable and keep building on that and looking after the existing members as you grow? That's something I think that's important with new groups and sometimes older groups, to reinvigorate them. And I think it's an important story that that people with experience should be sharing, and that we're doing now, but more for newer people that are just starting off. How can we help them? And if you run into, maybe like I have sometimes run in trying to market, or trying to engage in community groups, or that, to tell them about QDN peer support groups. Well, why isn't there one in my community? How do you explain how they can engage and maybe have a QDN peer support group in their community? If you're just coming from already existing group that you've made an application, but they'd like to bring a new one into their community because there's a need. Thank you.
Yes, gosh, Paul, if we had more funding to have a peer support group for everyone that wanted them, that would be that would be the dream, but unfortunately we're only funded for 32 across the state. But I always say, if someone makes a suggestion, please pass it on to the peer support team that someone has expressed an interest in a group being in this community, whether it's a place-based one or around a particular topic, something like that. Please just pass it on. But we're sort of only funded for 32 groups, but I think it's just hopefully through a conversation again, feel free to send put someone in touch with a peer support group team, so the Power of Peers team, so we can share with them the different groups that we have, or if you need some copies of the generic flyers that have all the peer support groups. We're pretty sure there's something on there for everyone, whether you are housebound or you prefer online or you prefer a face based in-person group, those sorts of things. But yeah, we definitely wish we could have more, that's for sure. So but yeah, good question. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. If anything else comes to mind, please let us know as soon as possible. Just send an email through to the peer support group email, because we are getting to that time when we need to sort of pull this all together and be having sort of a conversation with Mel. Oh, sorry, I'm losing my words, with Michelle. And yeah, really look forward to letting you know those sort of final co-design topics, but really good ideas. Thank you, everyone. Now, we were talking before about sort of connecting. Cheryl, you were mentioning around people connecting from different groups, or perhaps who are far apart, and sort of a slightly different version of that, but is something that I'd love to hand over to Karen now to talk about a particular session that the women's group held recently. So Karen, if you are there, I will hand over to you.
Thank you. Hi everyone, it's Karen here. I've been asked to give you a bit of an update on the women's peer support group. So for quite a while now, the women's group has mainly been a Facebook group where women can connect, share information, and support each other. The group's also open to non-binary and gender diverse people who feel the group is the right fit for them. We thought it would be nice to try something different. So last month we held our first online catch-up. It was a great success. The women who joined really seemed to enjoy having the chance to talk together in real time. There was lots of sharing, plenty of ideas, and most importantly, we hope everyone felt heard and supported. Because it went so well, we're now looking at holding these online catch-ups more regularly. We're thinking maybe every 2 months or perhaps once a quarter. We're still working out what will work best, but it's something we'd like to continue. I'd also like to let the women conveners know that you'd be very welcome to join these future meetings. It would be wonderful to have more women involved and to hear your ideas and experiences. One of the biggest discussions was about transport. One member shared the work she's been doing over the past 9 months to improve transport in the small community where she lives. At the moment, there's no safe transport system, and getting on and off the ferry is very difficult for people who use wheelchairs because of the steep access. Sadly, people have been injured trying to use it. So the group spent much time talking through different ideas and ways she should keep pushing for change. And as someone who's been involved in QDN for a long time, it really showed the value of people, and in this case, women, coming together to support each other. We also talked about how the Brisbane City Council changing its taxi provider back to black and white taxis, with members sharing their experiences and thoughts around what that means. Women's health was also another big topic. So several women spoke about how difficult it can be to get the healthcare they need. Endometriosis was one example, but the conversation was much broader than that. Women shared stories about spending years and thousands of dollars seeing specialists, only to be told that their symptoms were because of their disability, because they were getting older. Too often, their concerns weren't properly investigated. One comment really summed it up. Advocating for basic health care is exhausting. I think many people in the meeting could relate to those words. We also heard from a woman living in a rural area who said it took her 5 years to find a doctor. She felt comfortable talking about women's health. It reminded us where you live can make accessing good health care even harder. Another issue that came up was the stress of receiving letters from organisations like Housing or the NDIS asking people to respond within 28 days when they simply don't have the time, energy, or support to do it. So the pressure these deadlines create is something many people experience. We talked about ideas for future meetings. Health came up again and again. It's something people want to know more about. There was interest in inviting guest speakers to talk about topics like menopause and disability, or breast screening for women with disability, services like Breast Screen Queensland or IMED at Chermside, which offers seated mammograms, were suggested as possible speakers. I'd like to finish with two comments from people who joined the meeting. One person said, peer support groups make you feel like you aren't alone. Emotional support makes the practical stuff feel easier. Another person said, the group catch up was even more valuable than I thought it would be. I think these comments say it all. These meetings aren't just about sharing information, they're about connecting with other people who understand, support each other, and knowing you're not facing things on your own. So I'm really looking forward to working more with Isabel to see these online women's group meetings grow over the coming months. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, just it was wonderful feedback and a really successful event. And yeah, kudos to you for over time for advocating for your group to do this sort of special event. And yeah, we definitely look forward to supporting more of them in the future. But I think we all know more than ever that at the moment, and again, just a reminder, if there's anyone you know who is not able to get to a peer support group because their funding has been cut or, because of transport, we do have taxi cab charge vouchers to help support people get to and from the meeting. So we want them to have that, it doesn't cost them anything, which we know is really important with the high cost of living and with funding, being cut. So if they need support to get to and from the meeting, if we have notice, we can post them out directly. We can send more to you as conveners to give to them when they're at your next meeting. But just the thought that people are being isolated at home is just not something we want people to be feeling. So if we can help them get to and from a meeting, please let us know and we'll get more of those vouchers out to you. Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, Jenna. The beauty of our group too is you don't need to leave your house. You can
That's
join
true.
and still
For
feel
those,
part of a community. So.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you. Well, I am now going to hand over to Carmen, if you are there, to do our checkout question.
No, I'm not here. So checkout question for this meeting. What are you looking forward to in the next month? And my answer is spring. Sharon.
Sorry, I'm going to turn you over to Lena now. Okay, go.
How you going, Carmen?
Yeah,
We can hear you, Talina. All good.
Yeah.
What?
How you going?
Hey.
Sorry I'm late.
All
I
good.
had something else to do first up,
No
which
worries.
was that census stuff I had to go through.
Oh, yes. It's great to have you here. Thank you.
Yeah.
What are you looking
Yeah.
forward to in the next month?
Just the usual stuff. Just keep fighting on my stuff that I'm working through. Working with me. And even have to help Sharon out a bit
Yeah,
as
this
well.
is you work together, don't you? And what about driving around in
Yeah.
your car?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Talina.
One other thing, can you let me know when the flights are for October and November for me, so I can?
We'll be in touch.
Mum.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you missed it earlier in the
Yeah.
meeting, but we were just talking about there'll be a form that comes out soon, and you start kind of putting some dates that you'll travel down, and then Nicole, who you spoke with earlier in the year when you were coming down for emerging leaders, so Nicole will be in touch
Yeah.
again around flights to work that out with you.
Yeah.
But there'll be a form to come out initially, so we can start working that all out with you, Talina. Thank you.
Yeah.
Probably in the next couple of weeks, but I'll
Yeah.
let Sharon know as well.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I'll let Mum know about that as well.
Awesome. Love to see.
Okay.
Love to see your
Yep.
mum again.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll just pass on. Actually, Carmen, did you want to keep things moving along?
Next on my screen is Karen.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I feel embarrassed. Can you repeat the question, Carmen?
What is one thing you're looking forward to in the next month?
Getting some further outcomes about my eye.
Awesome.
So will I pass on to the next person I can see?
If you want, yeah.
Or the next person I can see is Gina.
Thank you, Karen. It's Gina here. For those that don't know, it's a public holiday in Brisbane tomorrow, Eka Show Day public holiday. So I don't know if everyone else is taking it in terms of, I spoke to someone earlier and they had a public holiday. Oh, that was you, Hop, I think, wasn't it? Was it? You had a public holiday up there
Yeah,
in Gladstone yesterday. Is that
yeah.
right, Carmen?
Yesterday was our show day. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think any
So
of us
everything's
will
out of
know what
whack.
day it is this week, but that's exciting. Next on my screen is Josh, you're next along.
Within the next month is my wedding anniversary. So every year we go away, my wife and I, and have a nice time away, a few good meals, a bit of wine. I look forward to that every year.
Oh, softy, romantic, love it. Who do you want to pass to, Josh?
Let's go to Hop.
Thanks, Josh. Mine was pretty easy one. Holiday. That's mine. Yep. Just time off. No phones. No nothing. Just
Off
cruise around
grid.
doing stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't. I try to avoid a lot of stuff.
Carmen,
Not
we'll hand
always
back
work
to
though.
no.
Thanks.
Belinda.
We've got Toowoomba Carnival of Flowers, so I can't not put a plug in for that one. If anybody's nearby, it's always great from 1st of September onwards, really. But probably the main thing is I'm going on holidays. Sorry, Nadia, I have to tell you that yet. But I'm going holidays to America the end of next month. I'm happy to pass to Eleni if you want, Carmen, make it easier.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm also going on holidays on the weekend. I'm going to Europe for a couple of weeks. But yeah, then I'll be back. So I'm really excited to go into the hot weather and the beach. I'll pass to Isabel.
Well, I don't have any holidays to look forward to, but I'm excited to see what you guys all get up to in your groups. And I'm also really excited about the Queensland Disability Conference 2026, which is going to happen in exactly 1 month today. If you want to join online and watch that conference, then the information's available on the website. So plug for that one because we got a good one to plug to you all.
That was a cheap plug.
It should be in all your Facebook groups too. Is that if only had time to? Yeah.
Yeah. Kate.
Thank you, Carmen. For me, in a few weeks, I've got a bit of a girls' weekend coming up. So going away for a couple of shows and to catch up with some other friends. So I guess that's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm with Carmen. Spring is, sounding really good to me at the moment. So do you want me to pass on?
No, I'll go.
All right.
Bruh. Dion, hello. Aren't you up with the teenage kids? Hey, bruh.
No, not up with the teenage kids. I'm actually looking forward to trying the new white strawberries that I've seen advertised. Yeah, that's what I thought there.
Wow.
It's new hybrid white strawberries that have just come out in Bundaberg.
And can I just add for anyone that doesn't know that Carmen and Dion are brother and sister?
Sorry, probably should have said that.
We love to hate each other.
Next on my screen is Nadia.
Thank you. Just taking a minute to unmute. I thought we were going to start with some cool slang. Maybe you'd teach me whatever the kids are saying. So this weekend is my beautiful wife's birthday. Some of you might know her. So I am very excited to celebrate that with her.
Lovely. And when I have my grandkids here again, I'll ring you and you can listen to the slang.
Can you get a list of all the cool terms? Thanks, Carmen.
I got called bra all weekend. Next on my list is Paul J.
I'm looking forward to a birthday we've got this weekend to go, me and my partner, and we're looking forward to that. My partner's going to be making a cake. Okay, thank you, and I'd like to pass it on to Brendan or Paul O'Shea.
I'll go.
Hello?
Oh, sorry.
You go, Brendan.
No, who's going? Sorry? I thought it was me up.
Yep, go for it, Brendan.
It's you.
What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to submitting a university assignment on Friday and never seeing it again.
Oh dear, nice.
Okay, Paul O'Day.
So I'm looking forward to doing the Bridge to Brisbane next month. Doing the 5K, so that should be good. And
well, good luck.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to the next Brisbane Hot Topics group, which is in a couple of weeks. So yeah.
Awesome. Cheryl.
Thanks, Carmen. Well, I'm looking forward to going to Dream SeaWorld this weekend. It's my daughter's birthday, so we're all going to have a family get together at SeaWorld. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing the polar bears, if they're still there, and admiring the sharks. So all the good stuff.
And
penguins. And can I just say, I've tried the white strawberries in China, and they're amazing. They look like they're not going to be right, but they're wonderful to eat. So make the most of it, Dion. And I'll pass to Gina.
Gina's had a go. The last person is Serena.
Thanks very much. I'm looking forward to my mum's younger sister My mum passed away. She would have been 96. But my mum's younger sister, my auntie, is 80. So she's having a birthday. And on the subject of strawberries, a few years ago, Dion, when I was working at Bunnings, we sold pine berries. They were yellow, pineapple flavoured strawberries. I've never seen them again, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I can't even get my head around what you just said. That was a lot. All the flavors, all the colors, something tropical. Sounds amazing. All
Thank
right.
you.
Did we thank
I
you,
think
Carmen?
that
Did
is
we
everybody.
has
Have I
everyone had
missed
a
anybody?
turn? I know sometimes people move around on my screen view, but thank you, Carmen. Nice question. All right. Well, since it's I think we all deserve an early mark. So I'm going to call it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful volunteering and the community work that you do, and just keeping positive in challenging times. So look after yourselves, and we do love hearing what happens and having those conversations with you each month around what's happening in your communities. So thank you, and we'll look forward to catching up soon. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Yeah,
Bye.
everyone.
Take care.